The following podcast is a next level production.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Robert.
And this is going to be a review of Terrificon that was held in Uncasville, Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Casino on July 30th. And 31st, depending on Rob, because Rob went a second day. Even though it was a 3-day convention. I only could go the one day. But we had a great time going out there and looking at everything. Now, mind you, this was a convention that I've gone to twice before. Had a great time before. I only had one really bad instance, and that was based upon just before the pandemic, where I had an issue with my tickets, how they were treating people. They had a lot of people. In this case, this was the first one since the pandemic, and there was a lot of people there, and we all had a great time. So, Rob, this is your first convention in for some time.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is going to be more of a treat to you to divulge your thoughts and tell us what you thought about it. Because I've been going to conventions since 1994.
Right.
So it's a regular thing, an exercise for me. Now, mind you, this is probably my third or fourth convention since the pandemic has been coming to a close, or hopefully come to a close.
Right.
But to me, it was like, okay, we're back in rare form again. It wasn't overtly crowded to me, but nonetheless, I still had a great time. So what was your initial thoughts of the convention?
So like you were saying, I haven't been to a convention in a while. And so I've never been a big conventions person, not because I don't like them, but it's just I never just had time to go to them. When I lived down in Florida, I went to a few Star Trek conventions. And I went to maybe 2 of them. And then when X-Files really blew up, which I think it was when the first movie was about to come out, which I think it was the end of the 3rd season or 4th season. I'm not sure, but it was one of those. They had this traveling convention for X-Files, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing with conventions has been, the biggest thing I've been to has been the Comic-Con in New York. And I think I told you that story, how I got a ticket for that, which is a little nuts. Basically, I paid somebody in the last day that he was going home $20 or something like that for his for his pass. Yeah, and he was trying to how about 40? I was like, dude, you go home with $20 or you go home with a piece of plastic. And he's like, well, I guess $20 it is. So, and that's how I got to see Comic-Con. Everybody tells me it's wrong way of doing it, but that's what I could compare this one to. And this one, actually, the people seem energetic, which I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought that, again, I haven't been to one in such a long time. The way it seemed, properly organized, not too many people the one thing I saw, not too many people worried about having masks on. And I'm talking unless you were cosplaying, but I'm just saying, for COVID reasons. And the 2 days I went, the second day just seemed a little slower. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts overall, because this is, like I said, my 4th one since. Obviously, I'll be going to more that are coming up. I won't be going to the Mid-Hudson one, unfortunately, because there's really not much there to be spoke about. Ming's going to be there, so you panelers that really want to go see Ming Chen from Comic Book Men, you're more than welcome to. It's the Mid-Hudson Comic-Con. It's coming up. It's going to be towards the end of August, so he'll be there with a bunch of wrestlers, but they're not very well known, and it's a lot more comic book based, so I don't think it's going to be such a huge thing, but he asked me, and I might show up just to say hi, and that's about it. But honestly, this one was very cool in a sense. It engaged and grasped my attention of the fan of comic books, pop culture, all the cosplay effect that's there too that I like to watch because I love that aspect because I just like seeing people get dressed up and put the effort in. And the celebrities that were there too, because there were very much a celebrity encounter there between the people. You had 3 people from the Orville. You had Tim Daly. You had Joe Pantaleone. You had the guy who voiced the Lion-O from Thundercats. You had a variety of celebrity there that could appease any fan. So the Orville to me was something that I was looking forward to go see, but I only got to really see anything in passing as I was going to the bathroom, as I was waiting for Rob, and I was just, and then Adrian Pilecki pulled me aside going, "I love your shirt." And yes, I wore my Panels to Pixels podcast shirt, ladies and gentlemen. So I was there, and she did point that out, but she had a mask on, and I said, "Oh, thank you. I love you. You're great. I'll probably stop by later." Well, which I didn't. But her line was very long. So I'm glad that the fans are out there embracing the celebrities and their fandom with the celebrities that they want to meet. Right. Now, mind you, there was, of all things, we had Tim Daly, who Rob knows, I know, as well as the Batman himself from the animated series, Kevin Conroy. Yeah. And Kevin had a long line. The woman who voiced Wonder Woman, we had Phil Lamar, who voiced Green Lantern as well. Yeah. And a lot of people's lines were varying, but you could tell the major fandom at that point. Oh yeah, no, who they were going to see.
You have celebrities there that, of course, are, I would say, more well known and because of their work on television or film, and most people were gravitating, of course, towards the one and only Kevin Conroy because, of course, he's Batman. Yes. So it kind of tells you a lot about, fandom and how fandoms, where it steers them. I mean, you can have like the best celebrity, I think, in the world there, but if he has nothing to do with anything that's fandom, he's just there.
He's just there, and I seen that before. And you're talking. I went to it was a Monster Mania, and it was Dolph Lundgren. Oh, of all things,
really?
And Dolph was there. His line was very short.
Oh wow!
But other people were very popular, like people who I think at the time Carrie Fisher was still alive.
Okay.
And her line was out the door.
Oh, of course. It's Carrie Fisher, man.
So I got on a line for Dolph Lundgren because for years I wanted to see Dolph and I wanted to say, "Hey, how are you? Rocky IV, the original Punisher. How are you doing?" And I finally got that. I got a quick selfie with him and got an autograph or whatever and got to talk to him for like a few moments.
Oh, cool.
He's very kind and very generous. Now,
very smart, too.
Oh, extremely smart. And Carrie Fisher I had bumped into years before, but never got an autograph or a photograph or photo op.
Oh, man.
At all. So I kind of in passing, I literally was standing in front of her table when nobody was going there. And she goes, "Hey, guy, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey." I'm like, "Oh, having a good time?" "Yeah, I am." She goes, "You interested in a photo?" I was like, "Not at this moment. I might come back." She goes, "Okay, perfect. Blah, 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 blah." It's like, it's no.
Wait. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the weirdest scenario. I was there with my friend Stacy, and she was just like, and I said, "Well, we should go back." "Why?" Because she's like, "No ass on my, no grass off my ass." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, we by the time I went back, the line was huge.
Oh my
So God. It was sporadic that day. Never went back, but I should have. But the fact that I missed out. But the interaction, just talking to her while waiting online for somebody else.
Right.
That probably wasn't deemed as popular. You know?
Man, I would have been. I would have forgotten the line and sat down and talked to her.
But it was the funniest conversation I had at a con because it's in passing. I've had that before. I think I went to like a Big Apple Comic-Con or a Big Apple comic convention. That's it's like a small church hall that they have in downtown Manhattan. And I dragged my friend back in the mid-90s. At the time, comic conventions weren't such a huge thing, but this was small enough. You only paid like $8 to get in.
Right.
And then you had more comic book people there. You had more artists. Todd McFarlane was there.
Wow.
At the time, because it wasn't that popular. It was a smaller con. And, you know, San Diego was still big, but certain artists were still struggling. Evan Dorkin, who did Milk and Cheese, who I knew from Jim Hanley's Universe. You had a whole bunch of other comic artists. Like, I think Eastman and Laird at the time were still together. And they were both there.
Oh.
I was standing online, and of all things that I was standing online, and this is a great memory, too, for me, for a con, I literally was standing online for the guy who gets choked by Darth Vader in A New Hope, the Imperial.
Oh, really? That's nice.
It was $10 for the autograph, and he did a picture with me for free.
Listen,
so
come on, man. You're part of movie history. It is such a well-known scene.
Yeah.
The fact that you could just monetize,
and we recreated it. It's him choking me. But the fact is, I was standing online for him, but yet I'm standing there. My friend Jared's behind me, and at the table next to us is I didn't even pay attention. It was the guy who played Enos from Dukes of Hazzard. And there he was in his Enos uniform.
Wow.
So just a bit of memory, things that you go through. But the guy he looks at Jared and goes, hey, how you doing? He goes, oh, I'm doing okay. I was Enos. And my buddy Jared goes, oh, great for you. And then we just keep moving on. But and my buddy Jared's not really too much into that stuff, but he wanted to walk around, hang around, and look at that stuff because he thought the toys were pretty cool. He was at the time he was into like collecting G.I. Joes, Star Wars, and stuff like that. But the encounters that you do get, and to get back to Terrificon, I thought with the overall environment at this particular convention, I really enjoyed it in the sense that the fandom as far as the cosplay. And we saw a lot there, Rob. There was a lot of cosplay.
It was a lot more than I thought. Here's the whole thing. I'm a fan myself. I never understood the cosplaying thing that much. And sometimes you see people just walking in and, you're a fan yourself, but you're like, wow, I mean, the amount of time you put into this just to, come to a show.
Only about 8 hours at most that you're at a con. Or if you're there the whole weekend, maybe 16, 24 at most.
But, so it was interesting seeing, and you see all types of people, cosplaying and stuff like that. But it is, I would say, it's an art form in itself.
Yes.
And even though I don't think I will ever do it, but, it's, I definitely respect it enough to say that, hey, it's creative. And hey, if you're a fan, you want to show it, go right ahead. More power to you.
All right. Well, basically, in a nutshell, I think those were our overall initial thoughts, but let's move into more critical thoughts. Now, this is your first convention in a long time.
Correct.
Did you have any critiques based upon how the con was run, how it was structured, everything laid out, mapped wise?
Right. I mean, I would say and again, since I haven't been to one since New York Comic Con, and I believe that was, I don't know, I'm gonna say when Avengers first came out. When was that?
Around 2010, I think.
Yeah, so it's been 12 years, I guess. So that's my whole thing on it was okay. So like the panel for the Justice League voiceover cast,
Yeah.
Oh, at least when we got there, I guess it was already announced or something like that. But I'm not sure how they schedule these things. Like they didn't make it known. I don't know if somebody in a PA is supposed to say, "Hey, because in
Yeah,
this
they
case,
did have announcements. They did.
did they?
Yes,
Okay,
they did have announcements. We went to Tim's table, and then somebody at the handler said, "Hey, Tim's at the panel now," and Phil Lamar and everybody else were gone, as well as Kevin
right,
Conroy. That whole section was blank. But usually they do have an announcement over the PA saying, "Hey, Terrificonies, blah 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 blah. We're right now head over to Theater A and
right."
in this particular venue," and then you could go. There's also the convention booklet, which gives you your map. And I had to
True.
look at
I
the
didn't.
map.
I didn't grab one of those.
Yeah.
To I just kind of like. I think I just followed you around and say, "Well, you know where you're going, so I'll just
Yeah.
follow that way."
And I actually pulled out the map because I was looking for my friend Kirk Manley, who's there.
Right.
So that is nice, the fact that it's laid out properly so you could find people who you want.
Right.
Now,
right.
mind you, they do have like an artist alley, but with certain merchandise companies, they have it kind of got mixed up because I think this was a little bit rushed to some degree with certain merch areas because people are used to, because it's such an annual thing. People have usually the same table site or location, and you know where to get them.
Right.
In this case, Kirk kind of was like 3 weeks before they had to finalize, and he had to rush it, and he wasn't exactly where he was the last time I was there, but he got 2 stalls worth, which he needs with the amount of work. And if you remember, he had a lot of stuff on his.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
So he requires that, so he had to pay that up front and to see if he could get that money back with the sale of his merchandise and his art that he sells.
Right.
And to talk about that too, because we get you have Artist Alley. It wasn't really much of an Artist Alley. It was literally, you had the typical generals that were there. You had Jerry Ordway, a few other of the Dark Horse series comic artists that were there as well.
Right.
Centered right before where the celebrities are. Usually that's where you know. So those people pay prime numbers or prime money for that to get that.
Right.
Or they're very coveted because they are known within the comic industry. So they get those particular ones. So if you go every year, you know, oh, he's going to be there. I got to go there.
Right.
And you do, and you're able to get there. Like, Perez was there one year. Neil Adams was there. Neil Adams had literally like the size of like 3 boots at one point when I went and I met him.
Right.
And now, mind you, the man makes a lot of money, or made a lot of money. And the thing is, without that there, and this is the first year without the man himself, Neil Adams, there was more real estate for people to take up for merchandise.
Yeah. It seems like and it's funny, it's not funny actually, but every other week I'm always seeing something about somebody in the comic book industry passing away.
Yes.
And we're getting to that point where a lot of these legendary creators are up there in age, and we're going to be seeing a lot of them unfortunately pass away, but those were the pioneers of of a lot of the stuff that was done. And so we're going to see less and less of those people in cons, of course, because of health reasons or because they're just too, they're not here anymore or something like that. And even though I think the new guys, I don't know, I mean, they'll get, they have also their tables and their signing, and people, like what they're doing. But the ones who really started it all, I mean, are the ones that are actually leaving us, which is kind of sad.
It is sad. I'm looking forward to the next time Larry Hama is going to be at a con. That way I can get him.
Man.
Yep. As well as Jim Lee.
Oh, cool. I have a friend of mine that I believe that he knew Jim Lee. Actually, no, as a matter of fact, well, a friend of mine in Florida, I believe he knew Jim Lee, but my comic book guy who you met there, he actually knows Jim Lee, and he's, since he was an editor in DC.
Yeah. And those artists are still around. Go to them. Now, mind you, I made the mistake of going to one convention years and years ago. And who was there? The one and only Stanley. But the line was huge. You had to wait for literally a whole day to get to Stan.
Wow.
And I missed out on that opportunity. And I should have went, but I didn't. I didn't go.
I got to meet Stanley, and not through a convention for comic books. It's a convention for graphic artists. It's the largest graphic artist convention in the world. I think it's called SIGGRAPH. So that's what it's called. So pretty much the entire world descends onto this convention, and it's so big, and it's for so many days. It's almost like a CEDIA type of thing, or for those of you who don't know what CEDIA is, that's actually a organization that promotes a lot of the new technologies that are out there for from smart homes to home theaters and stuff like that. Yeah, but and so Stan Lee was at this convention, and he was signing posters for a comic book that he was doing, but that had nothing to do with Marvel or DC. So I still have that poster signed by him. But yeah, I met him. I met him there, and it was just like, oh, okay, and well, he got annoyed at me because I asked him for a second, autograph on another poster. He was like, he had that annoyed face. I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, I got to, at least that's as far as I got to meet Stanley that way.
Yeah, it's really, I always say it, take the opportunity if the opportunity is there. The only thing that I had critical to talk about the con was the rushing of the panel that you and I both saw, which was about the Justice League. Now, mind you, they could have at least did a cutoff point for Q&A. And they would roughly know it's like, okay, if it's an hour and a half, we'll do a half-hour Q&A.
Right.
Rate how many, because I know you're kind of like, this is your first one after a long time. You're like, get to the point. Some of the people are just, I'm not sure of the question. It was like, all right, that was a wasted question or things of that nature. But you have to realize some of these people are anxious and they haven't had this opportunity really to speak to these people. Right. Then you get those typical hounds that are out there that are not just there for the convention, but they're there at the celebrities table at least 5 times that weekend. And then they'll still go to the panel and saying, yeah, sir, there was this one line that you said, and that's when you're like, can you rush it along? Get to your point.
Yeah, no.
Why couldn't you say this at the table? But, or you hear the same question twice. And that's, with me over the years, I try to prep certain friends that don't know about cons. I usually say, hey, if there were a celebrity in that and feel like some sort of screen or film, say, hey, is there something that you would have taken from that particular movie? What was it and what did you take? Oh, okay, you got that. Or more artistically, how did you get into character? Did you listen to any particular music that we should be looking out for that influenced your character getting into that role for a particular scene? Yeah. But a lot of people are just like, you get that. But
yeah, the one thing I
had a
like
lot of that.
Yeah, like you were saying, like, and I remember telling you, I was like, it seems kind of rude for whoever the moderator was to just say, yeah, okay, we heard that, or you know what, or
move on,
move on, and it was just like, wow, okay. I mean, if I was like the last people there, I would actually, honestly, I would have gotten off the line. I would be like, no, I don't want to be treated like a rush,
like cattle.
Yeah, like cattle. So I thought that part of it was not the
which I said, yeah, like if they had just organized it to a point where people had, like, the celebrity had enough time to answer, and then they could move on and they could go back to their table. Because literally that's what they're doing. The panel is there for maybe hour and a half, depending on how long it is. And the moderator asks general base questions overall with their experience of whatever they're discussing at that point. Right. And then after that, it goes to, which usually is the most important, which is fan questions or Q&A. Correct. And a lot of cons that I go to, literally after 15, 20 minutes, goes right into Q&A. Because it's all about the fans. Because honestly, without the fans, there wouldn't be the actor doing what they're doing at the convention, or the convention having a convention at that point.
Correct.
So,
No, I think that
yeah.
I think also that if somebody's gonna, if you're gonna say, okay, we're gonna have Q&A, and like you were saying, normally we have, let's say, half an hour or whatever of Q&A.
Mhm.
You know that every question, think of it as, okay, by the time the next person gets on there, just one whole minute already gone.
Mhm.
Think about the question that they're going to ask. It could be a 2-second thing that they're very quick in asking the question, or it takes them a minute to actually get it out, get it off their chest. And then it's then the reaction of whoever is, in the panel, and their explanation, which normally takes, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, or it could take half an hour, depending.
Yeah.
I mean, so somebody has to kind of plan, say, okay, so listen, we're going to do this by, I don't know, the first 10 people online, or by raffle or something. If somebody wants to,
Correct.
do,
Yeah.
something like that. So then you could control that, ask the proper questions, and not make it feel like it's, so rushed.
Mhm.
And that was my biggest thing. It was like, it just seemed very rushed at that point. Were there other panels?
Oh, there were other panels. I think Jerry had done one for the comics that he was doing at the time that weekend.
Okay.
And there was an Orville one as well, from the cast from the Orville.
Oh, okay.
So they had one for Thundercats, too, because the guy who voiced Lionel was there, who we got to see. I think Joey Pants did one as well, because Joey Pantaleone was there.
Right.
They were laid out in the scheduling of the book.
Right.
That they get. And I know you kind of passed along because you kind of were rushing in, but, it's one of those things that I'm out of habit. Literally, I just go right there saying what's free to me here that I could pick up at the table that says Terrificon.
Right.
And I grab it. They had a free poster, too. But I was just like, nah, I don't want a poster.
Yeah,
I just want the scheduling thing. You have a free comic? I'll take that. But they didn't have that this time.
Right.
They had stuff there for sale, which is like t-shirts specifically for the event itself, which is fine.
Right.
They also had somebody there who was pretty much like info. They'll give you info of where certain things are if you're unaware.
Oh, okay.
But,
one of the things that, like you were saying, for me, like just what you were just saying, vendors, I didn't see that many vendors in the sense of like sponsored vendors. Like,
no.
But then again, I'm comparing it to Comic-Con because that's the last one I saw, where you saw Mattel there, you saw Hasbro, you saw, because they also wanted to show off their stuff. So I didn't see any of that, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I would have thought you'd see something like that, and I didn't see somebody selling, like, let's say, the hot toy stuff, where like you normally see the really premium action figures and maquettes and all these things. So didn't see any of that there. I saw one gigantic booth of pop figures, which okay. So, and also my whole thing on it too was vendors. Like, usually you go like on the last day. Sometimes you get people that they cut you a deal because it's their last day. So, and that's, I think, is very well known throughout the industry, or people who know. But not a lot of people wanted to give deals on the last day either. So I was like, wow,
hold on to it, thinking they have gold.
Yeah. So those were my things.
Well, the funniest thing that you talk about when you said about that, when about like vendors, and you're talking about Mattel, Hasbro, Hot Toys, things of that nature. The one thing I did see, just not to be overtly critical, but just to let people know, this is a national convention chain. So you did have that National Fudge Company that's there. They had 2 booths.
Okay.
So that's amazing. They are very popular amongst all conventions, as well as the root beer station.
Right. I'm
forgetting the name of the company, but if they pay us or they give us anything free when we go next, we'll definitely plug you. But literally, they are at every convention. They were at Fandemic Tour. They were on Walker Stalker. I've seen them at Fan Expo in Philly.
Right.
I think I've seen them at a Fangoria at one point too. So they're national. They go everywhere.
Oh, wow.
So you get the typical of like, oh, I could get my fudge here. I could get my root beer here. I see the same typical people that I see at every con because they sell the same kind of merchandise everywhere,
Right.
whether it be for comic book, horror, sci-fi, or action. And they have, and you could see them no matter what because they're gonna have a booth, and that's their lifestyle. They are literally gypsies that go from convention to convention to make their money.
I see. Right.
You know.
No, but I think when I said, I mean, in my case, when I said vendors, I'm talking about like big
time,
corporate vendors. I would say like those big corporations, like again, Mattel or Hasbro or you know, something like that, where you know they want to be there where you know where the fans, because they know that the fans buy their stuff. The other one you were talking about, like Hot Toys, you always see them with a booth there, but you know.
If you go to well, at the time, during that time, Fandemic Tour and like I said, Walker Stalker, if I went to Atlanta, let's say, AMC would have their own particular booth. You would have the Walking Dead store from Sonoy there.
Right.
Literally, they're huge because everything is based upon there. There would be the Atlanta film tours because it's local to that particular event.
Right.
Because they do, well, if you guys know, they film a lot of things between Stranger Things, Marvel, a ton of regular action films, everything within the town of Sonoy and Atlanta itself. It's a market into itself for people to go to film tours of where they filmed great movies like Demolition Man or Fried Green Tomatoes, Stranger Things, Marvel, but you can't get in there. You know, soon to be demolished, The Walking Dead.
Right.
And things of that nature. But, you know, the thing is that they're staples within certain areas and you'll see them. Same thing with like San Diego. They do that there as well.
Right.
And on top of that, since San Diego is so huge and we're coming like a few weeks away from when they had it originally.
Right.
And that's the biggest. They had so many giveaways there because they are that huge. Now, Terrificon isn't that huge. It's just very big on the Eastern Coast because it's done at a casino.
Right.
And people could, you know, easily just gamble away. But it's the venue itself is huge. And I've been there before where it was back to back and you felt like a sardine in a can.
Right. That's what I was saying, that this didn't feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah. This was because it was the first in a long time.
Right.
So I knew it wasn't going to be as huge, but it was at least fun to walk around. You know, you didn't have to walk by and then, you know, God forbid, you have your butt pinched by somebody as you're walking past them. But that, you know, I've only had that happen maybe 3 times in my life. But probably because they were trying to pinch the girl's ass that was walking past me. That was dressed.
And they got you.
They got me. But to me, it was nice and casual this time. It wasn't overcrowded or packed, but it was casual in the sense that you could have a good time. Now, mind you, yes, COVID standards. They had some actors there. Adrienne Palicki had her mask on. I saw a few other actors and actresses having their masks on as well, but that's to their discretion.
No, but I'm saying, so like if you I read that for San Diego that they were telling everybody they had to wear a mask.
Oh,
and
really?
And people were very nice, you know, and they put on a mask or whatever it is, but that everybody had to have, and everybody did. So, but you know, we're in Connecticut, so
yeah, well, it's different. No, it's dependent on the location.
Yeah,
at that point, and it's really the discretion of people.
Yeah, no, so, absolutely.
I think in California now, it's that thing. That's probably why Adrienne Palicki was wearing her mask. She got so used to it. A lot of people did.
Could be. No, exactly. But yeah, no. So that was those were my critical thoughts were because I haven't been to one in 12 years.
but
and the last one I went to, they're fun to go to. And the last one I went to it wasn't something, you know, it was a huge convention, you know, Comic-Con in New York. So that's the only thing I could actually relate to that. And the other one that I could relate to was remember the Lost in Space when they came out with the movie with John, what is it with
the guy from Friends?
Yes, him.
Oh my goodness, that was ancient. That was like 1999
or something like that. So I went to a convention and I remember meeting the original
Cast.
one of the original cast.
Okay.
Who played what's his name? Not the father, but the other guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Don West, I think it. No, he was the love interest of one of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet the original actor who was at the time a gym teacher, because he even told me, he goes, "Oh yeah, I teach physical ed and stuff like that so in high school, but I get to do these things too." And when they called me for an opportunity for to do a movie, I was shocked, but I was like, okay, sure. Huh. So that's the only one that I remember was that one, and I was there because I was trying to look for like a few books that I wanted or something like that. But
yeah, they're very well known. I kind of call the con that I go to. I went regularly from '94 all the way up until presently, but I sporadically go now. It's called Chill Theater Convention, and that's found in New Jersey. And they usually don't do anything very specific. A lot of what they do is very nostalgic. So I got to see Adam West, nice. Julie Newmar, and the Boy Wonder himself. I got to see them one year, but they also had the Lost in Space cast there as well.
Cool.
What was it? Angela Cartwright's sister, who was in the show, was there. The guy you were talking about was like the captain of the ship, not the father of the family.
Well, right, exactly. It was
and then I got to meet Bill Mumy too, who played the son.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
So I got to meet him. Those are particular ones that is like genre specific, and usually I call them nostalgic cons because you'll laugh because Ralph and I went to go see of all things Corey Feldman at one of these things.
Okay.
So I got to meet, I was there literally just to go see 3 guys who portrayed Godzilla in suit acting. But Corey Feldman was there. So I was like, fine, I'll go see Corey Feldman. But he was like, all right, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go see the Godzilla guys. He goes, well, I'm going to go see Hulk Hogan. So that's why it was more nostalgic. So he went to go meet Hulk Hogan. And that was his claim to fame. Like, I got to go see Hulk Hogan.
Right.
I was like, all right, well, I have to go see Godzilla. So I saw the guy who played the original Godzilla. I saw the one who played it for the next 10, 15 years after him. And in the newer one.
Right.
They have not had a suit actor since then. So I got to meet all 3.
Oh,
so I was happy about that. So, but the thing is that, Hogan will still do these things and, as older as he gets, but yeah, that's what Ralph wanted. But you get to go see those things, and I got to go see Lost in Space, those people, but it was a consistent thing, you could tell. But as people do get older, you're like, oh, sorry, they passed away.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And it's just like we were mentioning before, it's like with comic creators, you do get those celebrities who do pass away, and it's like, wait a minute, I waited online for 3 hours last time, and I never got an autograph.
No, exactly. And it's funny who we actually, think is important because of how we are fans.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking about this because on Disney Plus, they're giving this really great docuseries about ILM and how it started.
Yep.
And, and where it's going, stuff like that. And, so there's a lot of, since I used to do animation and stuff like that and was a graphic artist, those were my, the people I looked up to, Dennis Muir, and you had all these great special effects guys.
Yeah, Phil Tippett
or Phil Tippett or things like that. So Ken Ronson's, all these are all like legends in that field, right? So when I used to go to that graphic artist convention, ILM will have a booth and they were, of course, taking applications because you will go there definitely, to network and to sometimes meet these big companies and see, go to the recruiting part. But ILM had lines of just people with their portfolios and stuff like that. And when they would give, these big, all of a sudden you might see on one of them that maybe Dennis Murin comes out and talks about certain effect shots and things like that, and to us, we're the fans of these people, and we're like, oh wow, it's Dennis Murin, or oh wow, it's and it's interesting how all these cons, you have fans for everything.
Yes.
You had, you wanted to go see your Godzilla guys.
Yeah.
Ralph wanted to go see, Hulk Hogan, and stuff like that. So everybody has a fan on something, so it's everybody's goes to these cons, right? No matter what type of a con it is.
Exactly.
Because they're a fan of something, and to them, whoever's great in that's their celebrity.
Well, they have these other cons that are out there that a lot of people don't get, but unless you're in that particular industry, when I worked in audio engineering, there was the AES convention, the Audio Engineering Society convention, and they would have it at the Javits. I went for like 5 years straight, and I got to meet a lot of my engineering heroes and producing heroes, a lot of which I was taught through trade school.
Right.
So sometimes your mouth could drop, but I went there to play with all the big toys that I would never own.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
And that was the whole point of those particular conventions. So not only you do get to meet other legends that are there that are like producers, engineers, and gold record engineers at that too.
Right.
You get to meet and talk with them, but you get to play with the toys too. And sometimes you get that within these conventions as well, because they do have interactive features also.
Right.
Like with Walker Stalker and Pandemic, they had things where you could walk through and shoot a zombie or something. Or you could do what would be virtual reality, where you could sit there and play the new game of virtual reality of whatever they're trying to promote for EA games or things of that nature. They do that, but usually that's on a higher scale. That's usually like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. And with this, it's very much like with Terrificon. It was very more small, structured, more focused towards comics and the con aspect.
Right.
Which I will start with in things that we saw that we liked. So we'll go back to cosplayers.
Yeah.
And before you arrived, I was walking around just getting my feeling and footing. And right away, I see this girl, not a girl, it's a woman and her husband, and they have 2 kids. And I don't know if you listeners are fans, but I'm a fan of the show. It's called Yellow Jackets. In the particular show, they have this thing called the Antler Queen. So all the girls were crash landed. We don't know if they went into cannibalism or not. It's still something that we're curious within the first season. But there are flashbacks of them having a secret society, one of which where you see a girl with a veil with antlers and some things around her dress that they created, and they called her the Antler Queen. So this woman was dressed that way. I had to take a picture. I was like, "Are you the Antler Queen from Yellow Jackets?" She goes, "Yes, I am." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I need to take a picture of you because my friends just love this." The fact that I have not seen that debuted at all at a convention since I've gone back. I was like, I showed it to my friends, threw it on a group message. They're like, "Oh my God, somebody's actually doing it." And then the one thing that they all state out of it too is, out of that group of friends that I have for that particular group, they're like, they need to have a Yellow Jackets convention. I'm like, it only had 1 season, kids.
Yeah,
one season. Relax. Hold off a bit. But mind you, since Yellow Jackets has come out, Christina Ricci, Juliette Lewis, and a few of the other actresses have gone to conventions, and they are crowded.
Oh, I imagine so.
They are crowded, so it's become such a huge thing. Now, mind you, I tried to get Christina Ricci's thing before, like an autograph or a picture. Sean Clark, who...
I'm so glad you clarified this.
What?
Because he said, I tried to get Christina Ricci's thing, and then you
autograph for... Yeah. It's like, I wanted her thing. Oh, no, I'm not a stalker, everybody. No, Sean Clark, who does representation for celebrities and stuff like that for these events, who I know and met and seen a few times. I had bumped into him at a Monster Mania. Now you're talking, this was 3 years ago.
Right.
And they were having I think they had the craft reunions. So they had Fairuza Balk, Robin Tunney, and Nev Campbell. And then Henry Thomas was there too. So I got his autograph, but because Henry was reasonable with his pricing. But I said, well, where's Christina? So he goes, come up with me. So we walk up and he goes, dude, it's like $120. I'm like, oh, nah, I'm not doing this. Hi, have a good day. See you. Bye. And that was it. That was like a lot of money. Now, mind you, there was a line there, so they make their money and talk about nostalgia, but they're coming back. So a lot of these people are doing these conventions. They're coming back,
Right.
and they're very nice to their fans because in passing, when I walked by and Sean was just seeing how she was doing, she was like, "Oh, hi," and I was like, "Oh, hi. I can't afford you." It's like some of us are on, a
Right.
budget, but even with the craft girls, I just said hello because it was like way out of my budget.
No.
But
yeah.
but the thing is that it's all coming back, and it was so cool to see that when I went to Terrificon. It's like somebody did something of a new show that came out within the pandemic and now is
Right.
cosplaying on it. We also saw Carnage, that guy with the Carnage arms.
Yeah, he took a lot of room.
And there was a girl there dressed as an angel with mechanical angel wings.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I got to
I
see
saw
her.
somebody from what was that Korean show on on Netflix that did really well.
Huh.
That they were killing people.
Oh,
Ah,
I know what you're talking about. All of us are dead or something.
no. It's the one that was super popular in on Netflix. I cannot believe I'm actually brain farting
Squid
on this.
Game?
Squid Games.
Okay.
That's the one. I'm gonna brain fart on this, but there was somebody actually dressed in a
With
jumpsuit with the mask. Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that,
Actually, when I went to Fandemic Tour, they were selling those masks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We all we were all thinking it's like maybe we should buy those. They're only like $30. It's like, well, if we wear them on the flight, people will not like us. Okay.
Well, it's an easy cosplay costume, and
It is.
And I have to say, some of the Star Wars, especially on the 501st booth, the cosplayers there were their costumes were phenomenal.
Yeah, they make their own costumes. They're pretty much a tight-knit bunch when it comes to getting together with their fandom, and they do special events for people too.
Right.
You'll see them at parades. You'll see them do to support their local neighborhood for anybody that needs help. So I think it's a really good thing. It's funny too because they're the Empire, but they're doing good.
Exactly.
But thanks to them. But the fact is, it's like they're very dedicated and they build and create their own masks, and they keep it very communal. And I think it's and they're very diverse too.
And it's worldwide. Holy
yes,
crap! There's a 501st almost in every country out there.
Yeah,
so that's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing that. We got to see Tim Daly too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I enjoy seeing my old friend Tim Daly. Him and I are more like acquaintances. I'm not gonna say that we're like buddies, but we know each other very well.
Yeah.
And it was just nice, catching up with him. I haven't talked to him in a while since he moved out of the area. But other than that, I asked him the question.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you know, there's going to be a new Batman animated series, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And I think Kevin Conroy is coming back for that.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So I asked him, I said, hey, seeing as how that's coming back, are there any cameos for like Superman in that show or something that they approached you about? He goes, absolutely nothing. I was like, oh, that sucks, man. But it was really nice to hear from when we saw the panel for the Justice League voiceover cast. It was really nice to hear that all of them would come back.
Yeah.
If a new Justice League, show came out or something like that. And it was nice to hear Tim say that he would definitely do it because he's a fan too. So he's
yeah.
And this was his first as I don't know how many people are aware, but this was his first con ever.
Yes.
So I was very surprised because Kevin Conroy goes to these things, like
All the
crazy
time.
all the time. People like Mark Hamill
Yes.
also go to these things, so you would think, and a lot of people who have done voiceover work for DC or Marvel for cartoons or, animated movies or anything like that, they have always shown up to these cons multiple times.
Yes.
So when he told me that this was his first time, I'm like, I even told him, I said, Tim, do you even realize how much of a legend you are in this arena here? I mean, and it was proof when you see, people just come up to him and how they
express their feelings towards him.
Express their feelings towards them. And it was actually, I was like, oh, okay, this is, I mean, he's a great actor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's a friend of mine, and they're like gushing, to him, like
emotion.
Like
I
very
love
emotional.
you.
And and it's just like, wow, okay. And I told him, I said, I asked him, I said, are you ever going to do one of these again? And he goes, well, here's the thing. I'm still an actor, so that's my first gig.
Yes.
So, but I wouldn't mind doing it again. He said, because he didn't realize how much you connect with your audience out there and
Correct.
the fans compared to, what he does, which there's usually no fan interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was true. It was like, wow, yeah, no, you're right. And I think he saw that, and I think, it was a kind of a cool experience for him. Is he going to do more? I hope he does. I mean, again, he might be a friend, but he was not going to tell me anything.
Nah, well, also too, I kind of got that from when we were talking to him, that he was just like, I said, this is your very first one. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, so how does it feel? And he had that look of like, I don't know. Well, that's the one thing. He's never done it before.
Right.
He might do another 2 or 3 before he decides, hey, this is not for me. Or he got something out of the experience of with the fans and having that. Because a lot of the celebrities that are out there, the reason why they do that is because they realized without the fans, they wouldn't have their work.
No, of course.
So they feel a sense of obligation to do this.
Right.
And just to give an example, Jeffrey Dean Morgan did this at Fandemic Tour. Originally, they were supposed to have Sebastian Stan there. Sebastian had to cancel due to Marvel commitments. So they overbooked. And then during Fandemic Tour, within that weekend, they're like, well, people are getting upset. They're canceling. They're ready to leave. They flew out here. What could we give them to supplement? And basically they were supplementing Jeffrey D. Morgan. So Jeff wound up sitting there for 2 days straight, hours upon hours on end, only having like maybe two smoke breaks between each.
Wow.
As well as getting like a few bites in throughout the day, and then going to sleep and then coming back and doing it again. And a lot of people were not happy still with that. But regardless, the man was there for the fans because they couldn't get that other actor that they wanted to see. But when the con said, hey, we'll cut this off so that way you could see, we'll take a percentage off and then you go see this person, please stay.
Right.
And then they get to see Jeff. And he was a trooper. And
that's awesome.
The fact that you get actors and celebrities that do that, because they do love the fans and they take the time with the fans. And Jeff, Norman Reedus, I think actually The Rock is the same way too. Dwayne Johnson is the same way at these events. And they just like to take time with their fans because without them, they feel this is for them. And they feel the same thing. And if you talk to Jeffrey Dean Morgan himself or Dwayne Johnson or any of those people, they're fans too of the medium that they're covering. Like, look at Black Adam. Look at Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He just loves The Walking Dead, but he would love to be back into Supernatural or even in The Boys because he talks about that all the time. Like, I'd be on The Boys in a heartbeat. But they'd have to find him a character. Right. Things of that nature. But honestly, that's the cool part about that. And when I saw Tim and I saw the frustration and the look in his face, I thought right away, it's like, give him a few more chances within this. He just has to have the right publicist to promote it, figure out his time and schedule.
Right.
Because he could literally do 1 or 2 days. He doesn't have to do the whole weekend. And that way, if it's scheduled that way, a bulk of your fans will show within those particular days. And then you'll feel, okay, this was worth my time.
Yeah, no, like I said, I hope he continues to do it. I hope, and like I told him, I said, you are a legend in this, because you played Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're, but one thing he did say, which I thought was great. And it's funny how when he said it, it triggered the videos that I have seen of other big time celebrities that are like, all of a sudden go to like, let's say Comic-Con, and they get announced into like one of the Marvel panels, right? Or whatever, because they're part of a Marvel movie. And when they go out there, the crowd just goes insane.
Erupts. Yep.
And they don't even realize what kind of fans people have out there. It's like, oh shit, I can't believe that the part I'm in is going to impact so many people, or they're so excited about it. And it's crazy how, so I think a lot of these celebrities sometimes, since they don't have that much interaction with their fans, or better yet, they'll even have some, but not a lot. And maybe some are just crazy. So then, of course, they become a little more like, I don't want to, meet any fans kind of thing.
Be a hermit. Yeah.
But I think these cons actually, bring into perspective like, oh, wow, I can't believe that there's so, I'm still remembered, and I'm still, I still count in people's eyes and things like that. So
they do.
So,
they do.
And like I said, and you've met Tim before. He's a sweetheart of a guy. I mean, he is one of, like, I've met a lot of celebrities in the past, but he is one of the few people that just a generous heart, just a very nice person. And I think from what I have known him personally, and I think a lot of fans out there got to, at least see that part of him.
Oh yeah, he was very down to earth, and I think once we weren't there at the very beginning, but I think once he saw the people at the panel for the Justice League, I think that's what really fired up within him, going, "Wow!" Right. And he probably had a big applause for him coming out onto the panel itself.
And again, you could tell, of course, this was his first one, because the way he was up in the panel, he didn't play to the crowd the way Kevin Conroy did. Like, he loves to play to the crowd, and just starts to do the voice, and people go crazy over that. So so I think this is something that
he'll learn it,
and he'll learn it. But I think that not even all the other ones who have done it probably go as crazy as Kevin Conroy does. Like,
Phil Lamar plays up the comedic aspect.
Does he?
He was on Mad TV, so he knows how to play that. Yeah, and then the woman who plays Wonder Woman, who voices Wonder Woman, she is just a true voice actress, so she knows. And there's like maybe two, like Ashley Eckstein, who voices
Ahsoka
Tano and Clone Wars and stuff. She knows that. As petite and small this woman is, even though her husband's like a big baseball player and really cool, she knows her celebrity so well and knows how to control an audience and knows what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And she can do the voice easily to a kid, and the kid will like break down going, "I love you." Because my friend Alex, his daughter Lucy, got to meet her, and they got a picture with her, and that was at Philly Fan Expo. And when I got to meet her, she was so wholesome, very down to earth. I was like one of the last few people there to meet her. I got a picture with her, got her to autograph. And very rarely I do get an autograph from a voice actor for cartoons. I would definitely get one from Tim. I didn't get anything that day.
I don't even dare ask him.
I know.
He's a friend. I can't do that to him.
I know. Some people actually, it's like you get to meet these people and they're like, "Really, you kidding me? You know me." So,
yeah.
but Tim doesn't know me as well as he does
Right.
you. So it would have been like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's just like another $25, sure.
And one of the biggest things that I saw at the con, which it affected you tremendously, was the Thundercat sword.
Oh
the Sword of
yeah,
Omens.
it's one of the impulse things that I had to do. You were looking at swords and you got me skeptic. I was like, oh, I want to look at this. I want to do this katana and I want to do this. I'm like, oh my goodness, this can't be metal. It's metal. I'm like, look at the price. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm like,
you thought it was aluminum.
I'm like, this has got to be aluminum. And they're like, no, look at it. This is
stainless steel.
Stainless steel. And I'm like, you know what? I put it down and I thought about it. And then I was like, and you were looking at me and I was like, you know what?
I looked at it. I said, Mark, it's the last one.
So I picked it up and I was like, fine. And I was like, all right. And then the guy goes, well, the guy who voiced Lionel is down there. I was like, all right, fine. So I got it signed.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a great piece. And I remember the second day when I went, you didn't go on the second day, but the second day that I went, so I guess they got more those Thundercat swords in, but then the guy who voiced Lionel wasn't there, and I'm like, why am I buying the sword if I can't have it signed by him?
Yep. Especially with when I spoke to the guy who sold me the sword, because they do replicas for a lot of things, not just cartoons or anime or like video games too. When I mentioned I had a machete signed by Steve Dash. And a couple of other Jasons from the Friday the 13th series, his face went like, whoa, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's a real machete, but that was in the 90s, or actually early 2000s when I got that. But still, you can't do
actual weaponry.
Well, it was sharp. It still is.
I was surprised with the metal swords in
at the con.
At the con, yeah,
usually they if they have like sheaths, they would zip tie them closed, or they have to get checked in at a certain point by security. Because you saw the security we had to get into. You went through a metal detector. They had to go through your bags. They had to do all that cool
exactly.
stuff.
So I guess you could get weapons in the show. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No problem.
You had to get, I guess you could get weapons in the show. Or from the show, you just can't bring them to the show.
Yeah, so you could do Highlander out in the garage park. So you could play, you know, the Kurgan and the Highlander out in the garage if you get a good sword. As long as it's done in the garage, because it's not in the hall.
Yeah, no, it's I was actually very surprised on that. No, like I said, there were some really cool vendors.
Yeah.
Like, again, because this is my second one in, I don't know, 15 years. let's say. I'm comparing it to a behemoth like Comic-Con is, which I shouldn't, but once you get exposed to that, that's what you're thinking, and you go into these things and all of a sudden I might see this, and it's really, this is more such a scale down, because even Tim told me, he goes, how big is Comic-Con? And I looked and I was like, Tim, it's about 20 times bigger than this. It's like, it's gigantic. You'll see it and you would just either think it's the most amazing thing you ever saw, or freak out and just leave screaming.
Yeah. Well, it gave him a taste. Literally. So this basically, because he lives close by, he lives in New York City. At one point, he did live in Connecticut, but now it gives him a little bit of a taste of what it feels like to go to these conventions.
Correct.
He doesn't necessarily have to go to the huge ones. Now, if he booked that, amazing.
Yeah.
That way, he'll make out like a bandit with whatever money he makes for the weekend, and be coming back with a smile, grin to grin. Ear
oh
to
my
ear.
God! I mean, the amount of people that he will see and connect with is just amazing.
Yeah. So, but, I'm glad he did something of this stature first before he jumped into something like that. So, at least it's known that was his first. There's actually of all things, I looked at it in Chilla Theater's Facebook page. they announce already, because it's coming out in October.
Mhm.
They have the people from Scream, or the new Scream that came out recently.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a girl. She was originally in The Sandlot. I'm forgetting her name, but she was an adult actress. She was in Scream 4, and then they brought her back for the most recent Scream. She died. Sorry, spoilers, but she died. But it's her first convention appearance ever, just like
Right.
Tim was. So you do get those every once in a while. It's like, oh, this is their very first convention ever. They've never done anything like this.
Right.
So to see Tim do that to me was like, okay, it opens up gates of new possibilities for him. Because sometimes people are not acting all the time.
Right.
During the pandemic,
No,
they weren't
exactly.
acting. So you have to rely on, other means of making your money, or just getting out there to the public. So I thought that was pretty cool. I had a great time. You had a great interaction too while we were at Tim's table too, because you didn't realize who you bumped into, and I already knew who it was.
Yeah, well, it's the way Tim just like what do you say? He goes, Joe, this is Rob. Rob, this is Joe. And I'm like, oh, I know who you are.
It's Joey Pantaleone, Joey Pants.
Joey, yeah, he's a character though, man.
From the Goonies, The Matrix.
Yeah, he's
a whole bunch
I
of
wanted to
movies.
ask him. I was like, dude, why did you? It was so wrong. They killed you in Bad Boys.
Yeah, it was.
What the hell was that about?
Yeah, it was. But
his character was great on that.
He's a trip in himself, but he's done them so many times. He's so used to it. But I noticed this among celebrities and actors that go to these events. They get in groups of people that they know.
Right.
They've hung out with before and know outside of not only the convention, but also the celebrity community. They go to dinner or something.
Right.
So, of course, he was just like, oh, well, we could go to that particular restaurant. It's like, oh, she doesn't like Italian? No, everybody loves Italian. So it's just like him just being himself.
Yeah.
And he's
like, great.
And him bumping into both of us, like, hey, was I right? I'm like, yeah, you were right. It was Batman 66. What's wrong with you? It's like, but
yeah, no, it's funny.
You just got to get wrapped up and not get your face go, oh my God.
It took me by surprise because when I got to Tim's table, I didn't look around
to anybody else that was there.
Right. So I didn't know who was there. And then it was later where I started walking around and I noticed some of the actors that were there. Well, actually an actor that came out in, I believe in the first Karate Kid, he was there. He does.
Oh, the third one. Yeah. The guy who played the bad guy, Matt Barnes in the,
yes,
the third
it's the third
Kid.
one. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the third one. Right. And he was there, like there's a whole bunch of people there, and you're like, oh, okay, now I see everybody that's here. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize that Joe was right next to Tim because he just popped out of nowhere. He just kind of like, he hugged Tim, and then I recognized who he was. Like, well, holy shit, where did he come from?
He went right there.
And that's when I was like, oh, he has a booth right next to him. Okay.
Yeah. It's fun to see that, though, those relations while you're at the con itself, because you don't realize who knows who. And it's fun.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's exactly true. I remember Tim, he was doing a show off Broadway with his sister, Tyne, I think is her name, right?
Tyne Daly, yeah.
Tyne Daly. And a phenomenal show that was. And so he gave me free tickets to that. I went with my girlfriend to see him. And then we met him after the show, and in the same room is like Kevin Bacon and his wife, and my girlfriend is the one that actually, pointed that out. I was like, "Isn't he in movies over there?" And I look over, I go, "Yeah, that's Kevin Bacon." But they know, Tim and him knew each other very well. And as a matter of fact, Tim told me one time that because I also met Charlie Cox from Daredevil, and so. And I just told Tim one day that we were talking. I was like, it just seems like there's a bunch of superheroes here in Connecticut. And he goes, what are you talking about? I was like, well, there's you who played Superman. And then there's Daredevil by Charlie, Charlie
With
Cox.
Charlie Cox.
And then he goes like, oh yeah, Charlie. He was here the other day, having dinner with us. I was like, but he knows each other, man.
Yeah, they do. But it's funny too because they're not much aware of what the other person's been doing. Yeah,
Right.
it's like Charlie was most notably known from like Boardwalk Empire and stuff like that before he got the Daredevil gig. And my mother knew that because she saw an episode of Daredevil and go, "Oh, that's that guy from Boardwalk Empire." But it depends on what your fandom is and what you like.
Right.
But on top of that, a lot of the people who are celebrities that are friends, they're like, I remember that. It's kind of like somebody I knew. It's like they were asked to fill in for James Hetfield when he burnt his arm in his face or whatever, and it went to John Marshall, who is James's guitar backup.
Right.
They asked Bobby to do it, and Bobby's like, well, I don't really know the songs. They asked him first because Bobby and James was really good friends. But the thing is, Bobby's like, I don't go out there and learn all my friends' songs, and like, I listen to them, but do I know them all? No. But it's kind of the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm a fan, but I don't know everything that they do. And we're friends.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's because I'm sure, and I've told actually my roommates and stuff like that, or I'm gonna probably tell them, let's try to minimize the work talk at the house because we already work with each other.
Yeah, I know.
You live with each other and we talk about work and it just never goes away. So I could imagine that celebrities sometimes are the same as like, listen, I don't want to talk about work.
Let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food. I went to Italy and I ate this.
Well, I've noticed that a lot about celebrities too over the years as I encounter them and talk to them.
Right.
The ones that they do interact in front of you and you go, oh, wow. And they talk about food a lot. Yes. So they like their food and their wine. So that's a thing to be like, it's like, can we change the subject? Yeah, let's not talk about work. Let's talk about, awesome, that video game.
Yes, we'll do that. Or we'll talk about a movie or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. You can just change the subject to something that's decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we overall, if you guys all you listeners didn't understand, we had a great time. We had a great time going and having fun there. Is this something that I would promote? Definitely. If you're in the area, and actually because of where Terrificon is held every year, which is in Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut, it's literally a stone's throw away from Rhode Island.
Right.
At certain points. My friend Greg could have came, but he was kind of busy with the family. He's got 2 small kids. My friend Jillian was away at that point too. She would have loved it, so I'm going to try to recommend it again. But I highly recommend it to anybody else. A lot of people usually come from like New York City, New Jersey. It's still like maybe a 3-hour ride for them, drive. Right. If you get a hotel, there are hotels there. You can do that. But the best thing for you to do if you're really interested, all you have to do is go to their social media, which would be at It's Terrificon, or on their Facebook page, which would be facebook.com/Terrificon. So check that out. They have pictures and everything that follows up from the weekend. So look at those pictures, and I'm sure they had cosplayers, everybody tagged.
Yeah,
the people great. I want to point out that were out there that I got to enjoy definitely was Tim Daly. We got to talk to Kirk Manley, my friend Kirk, who does the podcast artwork for Panels to Pixels podcast, Pyrocore Entertainment, as well as Adrenaline Cinema podcast. So I was able to get to talk to Kirk for a little bit, and he had like some cool stuff there. So keep in mind with Kirk, when he does these conventions, he has particular posters that he'll make for that particular convention. And that includes Connecticut Comic-Con, right, as well as Terrificon, Fan Expo, Fandemic Tour, whatever he's doing. So check that out. If everybody knows, just go to the notes in the podcast notes, and you can see Kirk Manley's stuff there as well.
Yeah,
But,
no, I definitely encourage people to go, and I definitely, and it's I'm glad that these things are up and running. I mean, for people like us who are fans and always been fans since we were kids, it's a place for us.
yeah,
It's a place that celebrates this type of lifestyle and this type of fandom that that we have loved all our lives, and you're not the only one out there, so there's other fans just like you, and it's a great way to connect with people, great way, to make lifelong friends, but at the same time, great way to support either your comic book, local comic book shops, which you have a lot of them that,
yeah,
go there, but also, you get to connect hopefully with either an artist that you've always been a fan of, or, or a celebrity that you've always been a fan of, you can meet them in person, and it's just a great way to, a great community. So
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
support your cons.
Yeah, definitely do that. And also, if you're a comic book fan, the one thing that I take away, and I forgot to mention it, I got 3 comic books graded for the weekend that I had been
Nice.
wanting to do, CGC graded. And at that con, they actually did a cool deal. For the 3 comics, it only cost me $130. And that's to kind of like, what they call them, ironing, and then packaging, rating, and then putting them into the plastic content. So
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
I thought it would have been like $50 each, but total price was $130, and that's including shipping to me after all said and done.
Right.
Whereas before it would have cost you like $180 or something like that.
Huh.
So I thought that was a great deal. Your comic guy Rob was saying that was like an amazing deal.
Yeah.
So I did that weekend. It was my plans to do that. I did Dark Knight issue number 1 from Frank Miller, which I've had since I was like 12, 13. And then I got the Secret Wars issue number 8 done as well.
Right.
And here's Negan, which is a fairly newer comic, but I got the gold label one, which is very hard to come by. So unfortunately, Mr. JDM has not signed it, but the cool thing about that, and a little bit of tidbit of information, when you're getting this stuff CGC graded, if they do authorization or authentication on site at a con, when you get something signed, have somebody there to verify it, so when it does go out, you get the full value with the signature. Otherwise, it's just a scribble on a book.
Yeah, that's why I took a picture of the guy who did the voice for Lionel while he was signing your sword. I wanted you to have a record that he was actually him signing. So
yeah, much appreciated. But I don't know if I'm like parting with that anytime soon. It's going to go up there with my Snake Eyes sword and my Jason Voorhees sword.
I'm sure that the day you do get, you'll be glad you had those pictures. So
yeah, somebody be like, "Hey, $300."
Exactly. No, I never had anything certified or anything like that. No, I did. I had a Catwoman by Adam Hughes. I'm a big Adam Hughes fan. I try to collect every comic book that he has ever done, which I started about a few years ago, and it became very expensive because I started from the entry level stuff. Now I'm getting into the more higher end stuff that he has put out there. So I'm dishing out more money for some of his stuff. But I mean, yeah, no, I'm a big fan of his. And I wish I would have just bought more of his stuff to get certified. But I do have one of Catwoman, and that one, even though it's only an 8, but it's a very sought after cover, and I was like, oh, okay, very cool. So yeah, no, I didn't realize that they did that at the con. So next time, I'm definitely going to probably bring a few things to get graded myself.
Yeah, it makes sense to do that. To me, I this was the first time I thought about it, and I had to go dig. And according to that, you actually were looking for certain ones that were CGC graded, but it's very much on the aspect of what I was trying to tell you. If you see something, you gotta get it then and there.
Yes, I missed out on 2 great graded comic books. One of them was Alpha Flight number 1, and then the other one was I believe it was the first comic book of George Perez doing Wonder Woman.
Yes.
and they were like $50 each, man. And I cannot believe. I thought, oh, I'll wait later, and they were gone very quickly. I really, really, I really regret that one.
Yeah, it's one of those things is like cash is very important at these conventions. Keep that in mind.
Correct.
And if you do see it, you make that decision right away, whether yay or nay.
Yeah.
And the best thing is if you really want it, try to make that happen right away.
Yeah.
Because you won't see it again for that particular price. And I think you said the next day when you went on Sunday, the Alpha flight was like $100 somewhere else or something like that.
It was $180 out with another vendor, and I was like, get out of here. For the same grading too. I was like,
a 9?
It was a 9 point something. Yeah, that was what the Alpha flight was.
Yeah.
They wanted like $180 for it or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Some of the vendors, I think, like somebody was telling me, it's like this year's some of the wall books, what they call wall books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of them didn't have prices on them too, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't have prices, actually. And from what they were telling me, it's like, yeah, a lot of those books were still expensive. They weren't doing anything to make it, more affordable for certain people, so, because if not, I would have came out with a lot more stuff. But I mean, the second day I got to buy a lot of like I'm an Adam Hughes fan. I'm also a Terry Dodson fan. So I got to get some Terry Dodson covers that I wanted to get for a while. And so, yeah, I spent a little more than I should have, but that's what happens with these things.
Yeah, exactly. So keep your mind during a convention, be prepared, make a list. And then
comfortable shoes. Here's what I would say for a first-time person going out there: comfortable shoes, ibuprofen, and
food,
cash
and water.
Lots of cash.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. All right. Well, that just about covers everything that we had for our Terrificon review. So, just to let you guys know, to submit your feedback, we can be heard on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice that you use. If ratings are available, please do give us a rating or a review on one or all of those platforms if you can. You can check out our website at panelstopixelspodcast.com, our Facebook group, which would be facebook.com/panelstopixels. We are on Twitter, and that would be Twitter at panels2pixels, panels, the number 2, and pixels. If you have any feedback, just send it to panelstopixels1@gmail.com. So panels 2 is spelled out TO, and pixels as well as the number 1@gmail.com. So there you can just email us or just record yourself and send that as an attachment, and we'll play it right on the podcast. We can be found on YouTube, and all you have to do is search for Panels to Pixels podcast. If you're there, just, subscribe and give a thumbs up if you like what we do. Honestly, it's just a podcast, but it's played on YouTube. But there will be interviews as well that are video. So if you do that, you get to see my ugly mug or whoever's doing the interview and have fun with that. Yeah, if you do choose to search Panels to Pixels, you might get Josh, who looks a lot cuter than I am. He's got the nice long hair and British accent, but that's not us. You could... We like for everybody to check out all the other podcasts on the Next Level Podcast Network. We highly recommend them all. Wilhelm with Ben Beck, The Melting Pat, Podcast Zero, and so much more. All you have to do is go to nextlevelradioonline.com and check them all out there with their links. And coming up, well, obviously, by the time you get this, I would already have put out Umbrella Academy, Season 3, Episode 1. Steve and I are going to continue to do that until we get into She-Hulk at the end of the month of August. So check that out and when those are out too. If you love what we're doing on Umbrella Academy, do please submit in some feedback as well as She-Hulk or what you're anticipating for She-Hulk. Because I know I am, because just as Rob mentioned before, Charlie Cox, he's going to be in it.
Yes, no, it's true.
So check that out there. And where else can listeners hear us? So, Rob, where can they hear you?
I am on Fantasy Picks Movie Edition. So, yeah, you could definitely catch me there. As a matter of fact, you and I just finished doing one of our episodes there, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness review.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely check us there. But hey, yeah, we definitely want to hear from you guys. Like, hey, what's been your experience on a con, and what's the best? Was there a celebrity that you met that really you always wanted to meet or something like that? So yeah, give us your feedback on what cons have you been to, and and
your experience
on that, and maybe hopefully one day we could see you in the con. So
yeah, we were walking around there with our shirts on for our podcast, so
yeah, you can see me a mile away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, where can you listeners hear me other than here? Well, you could hear me on Adrenaline Cinema Podcast on the Powercore Entertainment Network. And Steve, who is my co-host on Panels to Pixels, he and I just finished up Predator from 1987. So we covered Predator 1987, but we are going to continue on with doing Prey, which just recently came out on Hulu, and it's gotten really good reviews. So
I just saw it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it again and having good fun with that because it really intrigued my interest, and I had a good time with it the first time. I really want to narrow down my thoughts. So Steve and I are going to be covering both Predator and Prey, and those will be out. By the time this reaches you, Escape from the Planet of the Apes will be out, that Jerry and I had already covered. So that old, lovely 70s Apes movie that we always do. You could also hear me, and by this time this also has come out, I will have done the first episode of Sandman Cast that can be found on the Podcastica Network on House Podcastica's channel. And there, my friend Jamie Dimmick and I cover Sandman that was just released on Netflix. So if you have any thoughts and you're really into the Sandman comic, please do so. Send us our feedback there. I'll just leave everything in the links so that way you guys could check that out there and where to send feedback. Or if not, you just go to House Podcastica on Facebook and then you can follow it there and then send feedback that way. It's very much a lot easier. It's a larger network, a lot more people there, but nonetheless, I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on Panels to Pixels or do both. And I figured, I don't want to do double the work, so I might as well just do it on Jason's. And I'm sure people are really interested in to hearing that. You could also hear TV Podcast Industries and their coverage too as well for Sandman as well. So they're good friends of ours as well. So check that out. But you can hear me on Sandman Cast, Adrenaline Cinema Podcast. So with that, that's our show. And just want to tell everybody, this is the same podcast, different panel, different pixel. I'm Mark.
And I am Rob.
And this was Panels to Pixels. We'll see you on the next panel. Good day, everybody.